If he has a big day from the right-handed side, Washington College should do a good job. He had 3 goals last year in the championship game, 32 on the season. He's taken over 125 shots, a very physical player with over 115 career goals.
And, of course, he has company in the offensive end.
That's right. Andy Lopayton, 36 goals. He's about a 45% shooter. He's a lefty. He operates on the other side, so it's a great 1-2 tandem. Lopayton had big games in the 2 playoff games, had 4 goals and 5 in 2 playoff games. So he's got 9 goals in the last 2 games, set for a big effort today.
Fuller Lopayton on the offensive end, but Coach makes no bones about it. They have to have a tough defense at Washington College. And 2 of the reasons why are the offensive end of Nazareth. Talk about the offensive scores.
You've got to stop Dennis Foley first. He's the quarterback for Nazareth. He's a small attackman, likes to operate behind the cage. Got great numbers on the year, 36 goals, 12 assists. He's got 75 goals in the last 2 years. He is very consistent. He has scored a point in every game this year.
That was Ryan McDermott right there. He was the game winner last year. And here's a great look at Foley. Dennis Foley, as you mentioned, 4 goals, 3 assists. So it's the McDermott-Foley combination, one on the attack, one on the midfield, that'll really sting you for the Golden Flyers. Now, of course, when we talk about great matchups, face-offs will be key. But in our Nike face-to-face for this game, we've selected the goalies. And these 2 goalies are excellent athletes.
They're the top 2 goalies at the Division III ranks. Andy Tybel for Washington College, the first-team All-American last year. He's got about a 55% save percentage. And Jake Kuhn just playing so well right now, 65% for Nazareth, coming off 2 monster efforts in 2 playoff games. He's got 58 saves in 2 games. He is the reason that Nazareth is here in the championship.
All right, we've gone to sudden death 2 years in a row. 98's version will continue and start the face-off coming up when we come back to Rutgers Stadium. Back at Rutgers for the finals of Division III. This is the best in Division III lacrosse, the men's NCAA championship. Washington College against Nazareth, a rematch of the last 2 years, and it was dramatic both of those years. Leif Elsmo along with Quint Kesnick looking forward to a great matchup. You'll see the Nazareth team in the white jerseys. They are the higher seed, and Quint Washington, the showman, wearing all black.
Nazareth 13-2 on this season. They beat Ohio Wesleyan and Middlebury in the playoffs. That's why they're here. And Washington College, really a rocky season, but they're playing their best ball right now. They beat Salisbury State 12-10 last week. They beat Roanoke and Hampton-Sydney also in the playoffs. They've won 3 straight road playoff games, and that's why they're here playing for the national championship.
Washington lost to this team 9-5 earlier in the season. Injuries, a big part of their season being up and down. There you see the goalie shaking hands. Excellent goaltending in this game. Tybel for one team, Kuhn for the Nazareth squad. You'll see excellent stops there. And there are the numbers for the 2 goals I just mentioned.
That's right. Kuhn is a little more athletic. He likes to run from the cage. He is second for Nazareth in ground balls. He's got 91 ground balls. You see a very active goaltender in Kuhn. And Tybel, he's steady at about 55% save percentage. He plays great position and makes the saves that he should. His defense, if they can keep the shots from outside of 10 to 12 yards, Tybel will make the majority of those saves.
Well, facing off for Washington College, Greg Tomaso, senior. Nazareth putting number 32 in there, Chris Nadelin. And it's Tomaso that comes up with the ball, and Washington gets the first possession.
Tomaso's done a great job this year, winning about 60%. The junior out of Georgetown Prep has over 100 ground balls. That's a lot of ground balls, nearly 10 per game.
Lopayton, a great guy to handle the ball. You see a lot of him, number 25, with the ball as he gives it up to Ben Marchant. Famous name. No, this isn't Marchant. This is 36, Michael Wilson. Now up top, as they take their time, they want to play tough defense. And, of course, a great defensive strategy, Quint, is to keep the ball on your offensive end.
Washington College likes to isolate their midfielders, but from behind the cage, they do what's called an invert, where they'll swing their midfielders behind the cage, and they try to take the short stick defenders of their opponent to the net.
This is Jamie Pollock working on the defense of Chris Nadelin. Cutters out front, trying to help out Pollock if he gets a little bit of space, and he'll have room to shoot. Great check at the last moment by Chris Nadelin. Kind of made the move he wanted, but Nadelin didn't give him an inch. Back in play now. They bring in Michael Wilson. Long pole. Jeff Prost playing him. Early moments. Good bounce shot wide. They'll chase it out of bounds. Ball moves slowly on this thick turf, and it finally rolls out, backed up by Owen Mulhern.
Nice pressure by Washington College. Jamie Pollock with that last shot.
Wilson,
You can see Wilson. He's only about 5'6", 130 pounds, but he's extremely quick. He's the guy who controls the tempo for Washington College out of St. Mary's in Annapolis. 18 goals, 19 assists, so he's got a lot of balance.
Ball moves up top as they try to get the offense on track. They haven't hit the goal yet. Grothman working far side. Good check there by the defense of Sovey. Defense has been the trademark in Nazareth over the years, though. Last year they graduated a real handful of great All-American defensemen.
Oh, they did, and their best defender, Brandon Picaretto, down with an injury, out for the year. So really, they lost Brent Rothfuss and 6 All-Americans from last year's championship teams. There's a lot of new faces.
Shot right in front. They managed to get the ball through to Andy Lopayton. Lopayton caught it on the crease and puts it right back in. Beautiful job as they take their first score.
Washington College, what a tremendous offensive possession. You see the feed in front to Lopayton, time and room. You've got to do a better job covering him in front. That's money in the bank. One of the highest shooting percentages in all of lacrosse. 58% in 1997. Lopayton.
Back to the face-off circle. Greg Tomaso comes out for Washington College. They have the early lead, 1-0. And they get the second face-off. Nazareth has not touched the ball yet. We are 2.5 minutes into this game, 3 minutes in, almost, at 12:41 of the first quarter. And Washington College really doing a great job of keeping the possession. You talk about, again, the best defense. Quint, don't give Nazareth the ball.
Nice defense by Nazareth right there, forcing the shooter down the side. A weak angle shot, and their goalie, Jake Kuhn's going to make that save.
Chris Naylin brings the ball up. He's had a lot of time on the field. Marked there by Tomaso. Finally, he's going to come off, but long run for Naylin.
That's one of their strategies. Washington College wants to keep Naylin on the field to play defense. He's really the primary face-off man for Nazareth, and if they can tire him down, they think they're going to win some draws in late stages of this game.
Nazareth trying to get the offense moving. They stay in front of the goal, unlike Washington College, who worked from behind. So for this first offensive set, Sereno working wide. He's going to take on Tomaso. I think Tomaso's come off the field much either. Moving in front, big shot pushed to the side by Tybel.
Sereno and McDermott, that's the strength of this Golden Flyer team. Sereno's a left-handed, he likes to sweep. Big goal by Nazareth.
All right, way out in front, they cross the pass over, and it looks like Good Burlett, rather, who puts the ball in, number 41.
Only a freshman, but he's doing a great job. Good Burlett, he had the game winner last week. That's his 19th goal of the season. This was a kid who was playing JV until the 5th game of the season. 6'2", 210. Watch it, almost identical to Washington College's first goal. Just a feed in front. You got to check up inside when you're playing defense. The freshman ties it up at 1.
We're early in the first quarter, 11:30 left. 1-1 the score. Nazareth in white, Washington College in black. Teams that have really dominated this championship series the last 3 years. Here goes the showman. Bounce shot, picked up beautifully by Jake Kuhn. Tough to get a read on that long stick shot, but that wasn't the greatest location. Kuhn just smothered it. And here goes the Golden Flyers.
Kuhn is strong. 58 saves in the last 2 games, both Division III records. He had 32 against Middlebury and then 26 against Ohio Wesleyan. Those are the number 1 and 2 ranking save performances.
Nice shot by McDermott, and Andy Tybel got a knee on it. Beautiful job. Romanowitz was the man. They put a long pole on McDermott. It was Romanowitz.
Should be an interference call against Nazareth. You can't make contact with a player if he's further than 5 yards away from the ball. That time the ball loose on the grass. Nazareth looking to make the big hit. That's John Hawes, head coach of Washington College in his 4th season, 1996 Division III Coach of the Year. Played at North Carolina, was an assistant coach at Johns Hopkins. Championships has followed him, as has championships followed this man, Scott Nelson, in his 13th year at Nazareth.
There's Shorman coming right down, pushing into Lopayton. Beautiful job. Lopayton seems to be a fantastic finisher for this team. Obviously, they want to push it. McCarthy came screaming down the right side to the left of the goalie, and they found Lopayton. key on that was McCarthy had a shot, but he elected to go right to Lopayton.
Great look in front. He drew the double team. Lopayton tiptoeing the crease there with his second goal. Here it is again. Justin McCarthy, his 13th assist of the season in front. You got to cover that man, Lopayton. If things open up for Washington College, if they're able to penetrate and draw the double and triple teams, guys like Fuller and Lopayton will have big days.
They are leading 2-1. We are about 5 minutes into this first quarter. And Tommaso comes up with the faceoff again. He's being ragged by Nazareth. Scott Nelson told his team they're going to play every inch of this field. Big rocket that goes high, but he wants his team to play toe-to-toe with Washington College. Cover the whole field.
That's Justin McCarthy, senior, out of Haverford, PA. Again, not the biggest player, 5'7", 155. Great quickness, great ball sense. He and this man right here, Mike Wilson, two of the best small players in all of lacrosse.
Wilson gives it off to Fuller. Keep an eye on Fuller. He has been part of the drama the last couple years. Got some bad ankles he has to contend with. But he's played through pain in some of the championships you've watched right here on ESPN2 over the years. Double team, takes the ball back. He's got help to the side, finally finds Pollock. Oh, Lopayton on the far side, Quint, was coming down for that easy redirect, but they couldn't get it to him cleanly.
They look for him, regardless of whether he's covered, regardless of where he is. They force the ball to Andy Lopayton because they know he's dangerous.
This is Wilson. He wheels for the left-hander. Easy pickup for Kuhn. Kuhn makes that look like a day in the park on that save, and now they push the ball up. Sobey moves it up to McDermott. No, it's number 23. McDermott's number 20, and that'll be Civalier.
This is perhaps the best midfield in Division III lacrosse. Civalier, McDermott, and Sereno.
Dennis Foley initiated from behind. We talked about him at the beginning of the show. Foley initiated that one in the crease, violation call on him. So the junior gives the ball back to Washington College, who leads by 1 goal, 2-1. Only 5 minutes into the first quarter.
That's a primetime matchup. McGilvray for Washington College, number 38. He'll be covering Foley.
Tyler Gilbert for Washington, moving the ball against Sobey. Falls down, Sobey loses his footing, and they push it in, looking for somebody up front. There's a little juke moving near Kuhn, who makes a great save. Now backside, Kuhn will be tested again. Great job by Tommaso to get open on the far side. Tommaso took the shot. Kuhn's right there, and that pass out of bounds. Kevin Dorst just couldn't find Tommaso, and that thing just went bouncing and was gone.
Magnificent save by Jake Kuhn. Tommaso dropped his stick as he got close to the cage. Kuhn sensed that and smothered the ball down low. Nice ball movement by Washington College. They're really zinging it, getting the defense moving, finding the men backside. Tommaso with a nifty face dodge, but Jake Kuhn, as we said, he's the best goalie in Division III. You really got to shoot to net, finish with authority from the inside.
Lopayton with 2 goals for Washington so far. Offsides on Nazareth. Top of the screen, racing back was Eric Mort, but he didn't get there in time. Here comes the showman. They get in for a good possession. Brian Oates starts it, and Oates gives off to midfielder Kevin Dorst. Dorst got a long pole against him, long stick of Trombley. Working the perimeter, Quinn talked about, just kind of trying to make sure they get some minutes of possession before they push in.
When this second midfield's on the field, they've got to get the ball behind to their attack.
This is Tyler Gilbert's freshman. Loyola. He's got a nice matchup here. He's got McDermott in front of him. McDermott's a good defensive player, but size-wise, it was a good matchup for Tyler Gilbert. McDermott rode him out, though. Tremendous defense, and it'll go back to Nazareth. Take a look at the last 2 years that these two teams went head-to-head here in the championship.
Last year, Nazareth 15, Washington College 14. That game went back and forth. Nazareth took a 13-10 lead at one point, but Washington College rallied to tie it late. And then 96, one of the best games I've ever witnessed. Nazareth won it in overtime. Terry Getz popped the face-off, and Nazareth won both games at Bird Stadium.
John Halls and Washington College, they have the ball and a timeout. We'll be back. They lead by 1 at Rutgers. And Nazareth won.
And he takes his second assist from Pollock. Jamie Pollock did a great job. Watch the ISO on Lopayton. He senses the ball coming in his direction, and he swings left-handed and beats Kuhn from close range. Lopayton just with a great field sense. This is Jamie Pollock. He has 2 assists so far, both to that man right there, Low Payton. They work well together. You can see Nazareth, they take a lot of chances defensively on the ball, and sometimes they tend to get beat. But they've got to do a better job marking up against Low Payton. His primary role is just to shoot the ball. You've got to play him face on face.
Peluso, who's matched up on Low Payton, got his hands full.
5 straight faceoffs now for Washington College. Nazareth has yet to win a faceoff, and that is why the Shoremen are controlling the tempo of this game.
Dorst behind the goal, making a McDermott play. There you see the faceoff numbers. Domination by Washington College, and of course they have a 2-goal lead on the scoreboard. Facing a pretty tough goalie, they've got to pick their spots and get the shot they want. Good ball movement as they take it around. Dorst gets it behind. Now he holds it. He's working McDermott. 2 good things happen here. He's going to really try to tire out the All-American midfielder. Works it to the wing. Now back to Marchant.
We talk about the patience of Washington College offense, but they generate a lot of shots. They really do. They mix sitting back and playing patient, controlled offense with getting quality shots. And right now we've got a flag down against Nazareth.
That'll
delayed call,
slash on
call.
pros. So whacking check gives a free shot to Ben Marchant. And there'll be extra man in a moment. Andy Low Payton has really dominated so far. He's got all 3 goals. He talked to us about his style of shooting.
I play the left side most of the time, and or dodge from X. So I'm going to be trying to pick my spots there from the left side, maybe an offside or something like that, a low shot.
Now it's an extra man. Our first extra man play. 6 players for Washington College going against the 5 of Nazareth. 2-goal lead with 5:47 left in the first. They got a lot of guns in here. Quint, a couple guys, just specialty players. Whoa, big shot there. And was that one of them? That was Johnny Fuller.
That's the guy from the right side. There's 2 guys who can sting you on that unit. Fuller from the right-hand side and Low Payton. And that time Fuller just takes a front swing and beats Kuhn stick side high. Fuller can bring it. Nice little rotation play by Washington College. They're playing very well right now. This is a team, they've lost in this title game, but they're determined to play their best game today. Here it is again. Just a front swing from behind. He catches it. A little interference in front of Kuhn and buries the ball in the back of the goal. John Fuller, 33 goals on the season, 116 in his career, and he's only a junior.
J.D. Radeball came in to take out the faceoff for Washington College, Quint, and this is the first one they lose. Maybe. It's still in the Nazareth side, but look at the pressure put on by the Shoremen. They come up with the ball, so it really wasn't a clean possession, even though the draw was controlled by Nazareth. J.D. Radeball gets the ball. This is a story. He broke his leg in the first game against the same team. Hasn't played all year. Good-sized kid. This is his first game back since the early injury. Pushing it in, trying to get the redirect on the far side. Couldn't do it. This one will stick, but Radeball gets a beautiful block by Jake Kuhn. Well, Kuhn really stood toe-to-toe with 6'4" J.D. Radeball.
Got a whistle on the far side. The ball out of bounds off of Nazareth. It's going to be a loose ball push against Washington College. The Golden Flyers will maintain possession. J.D. Radeball, a great story. You can see Coach Hawes using cards there to signal his defense. They use a combination of man-to-man and zone. Right now they're in a man-to-man. If they sense they're having problems with Serino and McDermott from up top, they will play a zone. Last week they played 80% zone. We'll keep our eyes on that.
McDermott now takes the ball up front. Romanowitz is the matchup on McDermott. He gives it off to Serino. Serino has the defense of Bieberbach. McDermott wheels and turns a little bit wide of the target. Andy Tywell down to his knees. That ball goes out of bounds, backed up beautifully by DeVoe. Good look at McDermott right now, and DeVoe will initiate from behind. No, he gets it inside, diving play, and they'll give it a goal. Yes.
Acrobatic goal. Nazareth counters. McGilvray, number 38 for Washington College, has some trouble with his footing, and I think it was Dennis Foley.
Dennis Foley gets the
unassisted.
Goal. Makes it 4-2.
Watch the lefty operating off right in front of Tybal. That's the tail end, diving across the crease, staying out of the crease. Tybal pointing to the crease, but watch McGilvray right there. He slips and falls, and then the acrobatic goal by Foley. Fabulous body control. 37th goal of the season. He's got 76 goals in 2 years. The junior transfer, he actually started his career at RPI in Troy, New York. after playing high school ball at Colony High School in Albany, New York. Dennis Foley.
4-2 the score, 4 minutes left. First period action. Washington College has controlled most of the possession time. Now Nazareth on a little bit of a roll. They just scored with Foley making an acrobatic play, and they'll put it right back in play. Washington not set. Here goes Foley again. Tybal makes a sensational stop. Boy, they reset quickly, Quint, and Washington was not ready, but here they go on the other end. It starts with Bieberbach. He's looking to the crease, takes the hard shot wide. Boy, he had 2 players to his left. Bieberbach passed up, an easy pass to Oates, and then inside of Oates, another player, but they maintained possession.
That's when you want to pass inside. You're not going to beat Jake Kuhn with that 13 or 14-yard shot. Getting back to the quick whistles, with Nazareth, they're very used to that type of quick whistles. They're going to pick the ball up and run. Washington College has to be very careful to get back defensively, get in the hole, and check up. With the noise here, sometimes it's tough to hear the whistle, and these referees are letting these kids play.
Jamie Pollock behind the goal, working against the defense of DeWall. Very patient. That's been the story so far on the offensive end. Now he comes in close. Bounce shot, gets a goal. Beautiful job by Pollock. He finds rope from the right side. He just beats his man, and as the slide started coming, he dropped his stick and bounced it past goalie Kuhn.
That's right. Twice now we've seen Pollock do that same move and feed Lopayton. This time he goes for himself. The senior from St. Paul's School in Baltimore, Maryland, bounces that off the foot of Jake Kuhn. Here it is again. Jamie Pollock, his 9th goal of the year. He's got nice size, good quickness right there. This is a kid who's gotten better and better at Washington College. First came in, sat on the bench for a year and a half, 2 years, gradually getting more playing time, and you can see his importance today. 2 assists and 1 goal already.
We got him down unofficially here for 3 assists, actually, and 1 goal, so he has been a powerful force. 5-2 the score. They lead by 3. First quarter action about, you see the time clicking away, 3 minutes left. Washington College not wanting to go to sudden death overtime against this Nazareth team. They've lost that 2 years in a row. Trying to find the cutting attackman. They get the backup. Beautiful job by Nazareth. Now they'll put pressure on Tybal, and he makes a beautiful block. Good cutting pressure by Nazareth. They had Serino coming in and redirecting that shot. Push call.
Serino, the lefty. Tybal with a big save. That was from point-blank range. He didn't get a stick on it, but I was talking about his positioning earlier. He's a very fundamentally sound goalie. Washington College has always, they have a long legacy and tradition of just solid goalies, guys who play the position the way it's supposed to be played.
Nice job by Washington College. Here they go. They start pushing the ball down. Tommaso looks for help, but Nazareth does a nice job of getting inside. Nevin playing defense right now on Tommaso. The senior stretches the offensive end as new players come on for the Shoremen. 3-goal lead. Patience of the Washington College end. You tell a little bit different kind of a tempo when Nazareth gets it, Quint. They seem to be a little more anxious to go to the goal. Washington taking their time, really taking some minutes off before they initiate.
Yeah, and they want to get the right matchups. They were substituting Tommaso and Oates off the field for this guy right here, the freshman Tyler Gilbert. Now they like their matchups, so now they'll attack. They've got 2 of the offensive middies, Serino and Ryan McDermott, on the field. Look for them to try to attack those 2 players.
Move might come right here. This is Dorst. He's got McDermott in front of him, making McDermott play a lot of minutes of defense. Washington wheels up front. Big shot from the right-hander side, and that was Marchant. Nice save by Kuhn as the ball goes back. Watch out. Here comes a big push by Lopayton, but he slips on the surface. Great conditions here field-wise, but it's a little bit slick. We've noticed on quick changes of direction. Washington College will get called for a slash on the one end. Here goes a free shot. And good save, obviously, on
Tybal with another big save there. In tight from the freshman Goodberlet. One-on-one, Tybal went down to his knees and made the big save. We got a delayed call against Washington College. A 1-minute slashing violation against, looks like it's against Mike Wilson at the midfield line, but there was a great shot. Watch this save. This is a quintessential, typical 4-on-3 fast break. Goodberlet, and Tybal just steps, gets his body on it. He moves so well. There he is, the senior captain from Fairfax, Virginia. Last year, a first-team All-American. He's had a subpar season for Andy Tybal. I talked to their coaches before the games. He took a couple vicious shots during the season in practice, and he was all banged up and bruised, and he started shying away from the ball. They started practicing with Tybal with some tennis balls, and it's really improved his form, and over the last 3 or 4 weeks, he's playing his best games of the season.
Less than a minute to go. I was wondering how you're going to handle that. He did take some vicious shots, and the area of contact was sort of consistent on all those shots, and it's exactly where you wouldn't want those shots to go. So it's had its effect on him. He seems to have come around. 5-2 score.
Nazareth now will have a man advantage, unreleasable foul here. This is a unit that can sting, and Nazareth's very effective, 43% on their extra man.
They go into a rotation. Mort takes it up for the right-handed. McDermott in the middle. He can hurt you. Big check to the face. They don't even call it. Crowd wanting a little bit of something as Sereno gives it back, and they work low. Sereno's up top, and they throw it between McDermott and Sereno. This will take some time off the penalty.
Good poke check there by Michael Kent from Washington College down low, forcing that pass a little high.
McDermott can't pick it up cleanly. They're all looking for the big shot up there. McDermott wants it. Moving it very quickly down, looking at the crease the whole time. There is the crease. They tried to force it into Goodbrellet, and Goodbrellet just didn't pick it up. Good big target in there, Quint. 6'2", and it was a low feed from McDermott. Kind of handcuffed him.
Yeah, and it looks like they're giving Ryan McDermott that outside shot. McDermott, a great shooter, but probably not from about 15 yards. He's more comfortable around the 10 to 12-yard range, and it looks like the Washington College defense, they're going to bait McDermott to take that outside shot because they have a lot of confidence in Mr. Tybal, their goalie.
Michael Kent gives it to Justin McCarthy, and that'll be the end of the first quarter. 5-2 the score. Washington College doing a great job of controlling the ball, and they lead by 3. Giving up to his teammate, Grothman. Grothman's got a short stick defender on him. He's trying to take him to the cooker. DeWall playing defense. Ball in the crease. Picked up by Jake Kuhn. Kuhn outlets to Jeff Pross. Look at the quick movement upfield. Brian Rogers. Rogers looks for help. Check from behind almost, and the ball goes outside the stick of Al Torelli.
This is where Nazareth can sting it in transition. They like to run and gun. When they get 4-on-3s, they're going to score goals. They also like to dodge to the goal in transition when they're maybe 4-on-4 or 5-on-5 and the defense isn't set.
McDermott wheels back to his offensive star, Goodbrellet. And coming out of the pack is Torelli. Nazareth pushing it. Anxious to score. And a diving play with little or no angle. Beautiful job on the far side. Was that Foley, 33?
That was Foley, this time right-handed. That's his second dive goal of the game.
Showed your lefty, showed your righty, didn't he?
Yeah.
5-3.
Coach Nelson's got to be happy to get this first goal here in the second quarter. Dennis Foley, his second goal of the game. Here it is, just off of a scramble in front. Tybal came off the post. You want to stay on that pipe right there. Watch it again. You'll get a great angle here. Watch Tybal step to his left, opening up the inside right there. You've just got to hold the pipe and not guess across the cage. The goalie really has to protect the inside. There's no way that Foley's going to be able to reach around him in that spot, but Foley's showing a lot of versatility. A left-handed goal and a right-handed goal.
On the other end, on the left-hand side, he did go around the goalie on that one, so a little bit of a guess job there as Tybal thought he was going far side. He moved to the far side, as you suggested, and opened up the target. Otherwise, that goal doesn't go in. Nice play as we take a look at it.
Nice hustle by Nazareth, though. You mentioned about the loose ball in front. They generate this second and third shot opportunity just by scrapping. Wasn't a pretty offensive possession, but they worked hard and they got a high-quality shot.
They like to create chaos. They push the tempo. And take a look at some numbers from first quarter.
Look at the domination on the shots by Washington College, 18-8. Ground balls, 17-13, and face-offs, 5-3. At one point, they led the face-off category 5-0.
And most of those were taken by Greg Tomaso. He's in there now, number 7, facing off against number 32, Chris Nadelin. And the wing play comes up cleanly with the ball for Washington as they give it off to Tybal. Tybal will reset. Bring it right up the far side very cleanly. Nice job by the Shoreman. Trying to get it in. Beaverbach. Hammered by Sobey. He's all over him. Beaverbach looking for some help. Sobey really working him hard.
Sobey likes, he's a left-hander, so if you run right-handed against Sobey, he throws that wrap check. Constantly looking to get the ball on the ground with the takeaway check. That's a Nazareth style of defense. They get out, they play you, they throw checks. Occasionally they'll get beat, but a lot of times they'll turn the ball over. Very tough. Got to be ready to deal with the arsenal of checks they throw your way.
Washington moving it in, looking for an open shot in front, wheeling around, far corner, nice pipe. Was it a pipe that brought it back?
I think he got it in the foot. I think he got, yeah, exactly. I think it hit him in the foot.
Bring it down the other end. Nazareth now with the ball. They're down 5-3. Plenty of time left. We're only in the second quarter, and you'll see them. They love to push. They don't like to stand around very much. They love to push it to the goal. Timberlake moves it up top.
A lot of mileage. This first midfield, Serino and Ryan McDermott and Cavalier, they've been on the field the majority of this ball game. I'm surprised Coach Nelson usually goes to his second or third midfield a little more, but right now being down by a couple goals, I think he wants to play his studs.
Cavalier on the far side hits the back of the net. Crowd on the far side, on the near side rather, got excited for a moment, but here goes the Shoremen. Reset with their offense. Brian Wrench takes the ball behind. Very patient. Looks for a slide and then an opening. He's waiting to try to take advantage of the quick slide. McDermott playing defense on him. So again, Quint, they get to isolate McDermott, spend a little bit of energy out of that offensive star. Dorst. Here comes the slide coming in. Jeff Prost was pushing. Big push inside. Nice job by Michael Wilson to try to get the ball, but picked up cleanly there by Prost as he gets back to his goalie, Kuhn. Can't pick up that one. Pullman missed it. Backed up beautifully by DeVoe.
Yeah, DeVoe did a good job. Kent for Washington College slipped a little. DeVoe's got great quickness.
And here come that firepower, starting with Serino, number 44. Number 1 playing him is, I've been told, Jeremy Stower, which makes sense. Defensive player on the program. I kept saying Romanowitz, which is wrong. He's a midi freshman. So Jeremy Stower been playing a tough first quarter, and he is number 1 on the defense for Washington College. Nazareth pushing it in, trying the right-handed shot. Bounce off the pipe. That was a close one. Couldn't get goal number 4, but they are great at loose balls. They come up with the possession again. Stower in there playing against 3 players, but it's Serino that comes up with possession.
Stover likes to throw checks. Watch the overhead right here. Didn't throw it. Serino with some nice stick protection. The bounce shot, not the fastest shot, but you can see this field starting to harden a bit as we've had a lot of sun in the last 2 days. The players now packing that area down. That's the first time I've seen a bounce shot actually bounce more than 3 or 4 feet up in the air. It'll hit almost up by the top of the pole, which is about 6 feet. Not a fast shot, but it kind of tricked Tybal.
Joel DePietro works the far side, trying to get an opening. They've got to clear out for him. Moves it inside. Tough position to be in, but how about that defensive check by McClone? He just stripped him from over top. Washington going all the way down the other end. Good job by Gilbert to bring it down. 6'2", great size for Tyler Gilbert. As they keep pushing in, here comes McCarthy. McCarthy goes far side. Fuller works it up to top, and now will be taken by Tommaso. Asks for help. He's got DePietro with him, and look at that. He moves in. If you just turn your back,
he is quick. He is
going to take inside.
Between Tommaso, Wilson, and McCarthy, they've got a bunch of water bugs out there. You turn your head for a second, and they can scoot right by you.
Tommaso maintains possession. Pushes it off to Pollock now. What an impact he has been. Off the field goes Tommaso. What are you pointing to there?
They got a break coming out of the box, but don't see it. On the far side, Washington College had a break coming out of the box.
So Tommaso left the field, and he had about a 5-yard head start on the guy that was running off with him. And that caused an advantage that they did not get the chance to take advantage of. Jake Kuhn. Push call. It looks like push call goes back to Nazareth.
Solid defense. Watch Pollock trying to dodge here right-handed. The second, there's the help. You can see, remember earlier, no one came and put Pollock down and he scored. That time, the awareness by the Golden Flyers is, hey, we got to stop Jamie Pollock. And they dump him, and then he falls into the crease. And that's why Nazareth will go on the attack.
5-3. Washington College playing some tough D right here. Serino. They move it out front. They like to push it. They don't waste much time. Chevalier takes the right-handed shot, picked up beautifully by goalie Tybal. Wasn't a great shot. The defense is doing a great job of not giving him, you know, the optimal shot.
No, and the key is they want to force the shooters down the side. Princeton at the Division I level does that so well. And this Washington College defense, Coach John Hall is a defenseman himself, one of the greats at North Carolina, really believes in forcing the offensive shooters down the side. Give them the shot from maybe 10 or 12 yards, but from a poor angle. It makes the goal much smaller, makes the goalie's job a lot easier.
Low Payton working it out front, taken there by Wrench, and now they'll work it across the midfield with Marchant.
Again, McDermott, number 20, and Serino caught on the field. They're playing an awful lot of defense.
And again, it has to be part of the strategy of John Haas. They're going to find those guys and make them run a little bit on the defensive end. Back to Tommaso, taking the short stick of Serino behind. Serino being made play defense against Tommaso. And same thing for McDermott against Marchant. Marchant comes back and gets the ball.
Nazareth doing a better job inside. If you remember when we first started, Lopayton had 3 quick goals to start this game. The Golden Flyers doing a better job not letting him get the ball in front of the cage.
Tommaso's had it for a long time. See, that's 6:30 left. Keep pushing it in. Wrench works back again to Tommaso. Almost lost it out of bounds, but he's making Serino playing a lot of defense. Now it'll test him. Looks for the cut. And close, big save by Kuhn. Oh, great shot by Marchant, but Kuhn really stepped up to make the save. Here goes a fast break. Long stick, bring it down. Watch out. Nazareth will pass it once. Look for the shot here. 2 passes. Redirect. Easy goal. Nicely done by DeVoe. Nazareth, 3 passes, textbook fast break. It all started with Brian Rogers, number 18, and they had Washington hung out to dry with numbers.
DeVoe from Foley, but it really started with the big save. That's Jake Kuhn making the big save, and Mr. Foley finishes it. Here it is. The long stick will bring it down. A great 4-on-3 break. You can see Washington College set up in their triangle, and Nazareth just picks them apart. Pass to the point, and then down through the seam of the defense. And Foley, not the fastest shot, but he finds the opening. Here it is again. 2 passes. Beautiful pass. Foley to DeVoe. And Nazareth, that is their typical offense. They need to get running. They need to score in transition.
And that's what Washington College wants to do here. Here they push it back the other way. Bieberbach coming in like the left-handed shot. Bounce. Oh, goes over the top of the head of Kuhn. Well, that field is getting a little more spring in it, Quint, because yesterday you couldn't make that shot.
No, yesterday with the tall grass and the soft field, players could not bounce the ball very high. Today, that's the second shot we've seen go up in the air. That really helps the shooters. It's tough on the goalies when the shooters can bounce the ball into the upper portions of the goal.
Wilson went against Prost, and now they move it behind. Fuller, 37, pushes it out top. And Pollock will play against the defense of DeWall.
Nazareth, they've scored 3 out of the last 4 goals. Foley with 2, and then Foley with an assist to DeVoe. They're starting to play a little better after looking a little shaky. They were down 4-1. Looked a little shaky in the first quarter. I think they're starting to play their best ball.
DeWall playing the short stick defense here on Pollock. Pollock looks for help, gets it up front. This is a good shooting territory. Let's see if they get one. No, great check. Checo Peluso took that ball right out of the stick. Grothman has the ball back now. He had a chance, Grothman did a moment ago, to let one go, but good defensive check by Nazareth.
Peluso just put his stick in towards the hands of Grothman as he fired.
Grothman runs right into the crease. Unbelievable. He came in looking to the crease to make a feed, and went when there's nothing there. He just kind of ran right in.
And you got to credit the defense. Great job. He just gives him a little shove, but Grothman kind of with a little brain cramp there and runs through the crease.
Well, I'll tell you, this offense has been on a roll. They've got last 3 straight. You know, John Hall's talked about playing defense against Nazareth. He hasn't been too successful losing the last 3 games. He told us what he wants to do defensively.
We've played Nazareth, I believe, 3 times now. We've lost in overtime in 2 national championship games, and we lost in the regular season this year. And we've played probably 98% man-to-man defense. I would say today we'll mix it up a little bit.
Well, they're on a roll so far, 3 in a row. They've played great defense overall, but they've got to watch this 3-goal run. Quint, now's when you want to stop it. If you're the Washington sideline, you're saying stop them here. Let's answer one of these goals. 5-4. That's the score. They'd lead by 1.
Here's the push by Al Torelli, the freshman out of Rush Henrietta in Henrietta, New York. That's a push right there with possession. This will be a 30-second extra man opportunity for Washington College. They've scored 1 extra man goal so far, and this would be an ideal opportunity for them to stop the 2-goal run in Nazareth. You can take a look at Coach Hawes on the sideline.
Ball gets inbounded on the near side by Fuller. And they send it all the way around. Starting up top, this comes back to the big guy, Swift. Well, he is huge. He's an extra man specialist, 6'4". He's had some leg problems. You see him up top now. But he can bring it with a shot right there, Swift.
He's had reconstructive surgery on his left knee twice in his career. Once when he was a senior in high school. He was actually recruited by every Division I program in the country. Tremendous talent. And then his knee went out on him. And then he came to Washington College, and then his knee went out on him again. So this is a kid who's really battled back from injury. His mobility is limited, but he's certainly one of the finest shooters. Got great size, about 6'3", 220.
Pollock starts the ball behind. Are they back at even numbers? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, even strength. So they've weathered the storm. Didn't get a good shot off. Washington College didn't. So not a successful extra man play. Working the ball behind is McCarthy. Gives it off to his teammate, Swift. See the heavily bandaged left leg with great size, 6'4", hard to stop. Good play in front of the goal and a nice stop. Sensational stop. They got the play they wanted, Quint. Swift drew the attention. The doubles team came. He gets it in front, and the target was hit. Goalie with a point-blank save.
We've got a flag down right now. Watch the save by Jake Kuhn. I think this is Low Payton with the shot. Kuhn just in perfect position. He takes that off the midsection. That's got a sting. You can see Low Payton right there, upset with himself. He had 3 goals early, but Kuhn now has robbed him on his last 2 shots.
Well, that was pretty poor location for a guy who can really find the corners.
Great play by Swift to get the ball inside, though.
He did. Swift drew the attention, 6'4". You might see more of him. Here they are back to an extra man play. Swift right there, goes behind to Fuller. McCarthy up top. Cutter comes in, draws the attention. Watch out now. Pollock rotating around. Big shot. They got exactly what they wanted with Fuller taking the shot, but the stick was in his face. Nice defense.
That's the right-handed shot. Fuller's got to bear in a little and step towards the cage when he shoots that. That was almost the identical pattern that scored their first extra man goal.
Blazing shot to the far side from one of the most effective offensive players, Andy Low Payton.
A lot of pressure right now. Low Payton, they're throwing everything at Kuhn. Kuhn has not let a goal up here in the second quarter.
It's definitely tough, but I think their location's been a little suspect, like that shot right in his stick. They really have taken away some of the good shooting they had early in the game, and it made it easier for them to make saves. Here goes Nazareth. 2 straight extra man plays, stopped by the Golden Flyers. Tremendous defense. And now they'll have that whole 2 minutes to try to put pressure and even this game up. They're only down by 1. Early game controlled by Washington College, and then the last 3 goals scored by, or 3 of the last 4 scored by Nazareth. They give up the ball. They don't sit on it very well, do they, Quint? They like to go to the cooker. Coming down with a hard shot, and finally they get a goal past the great defense of Kuhn. This is Bieberbach, number 6.
Bieberbach on a 5-on-4. Tybel made the save, great outlet pass, and Bieberbach carries. He had McCarthy to his left. They were set up in what we call a 5-on-4, 5 offensive versus 4 defensive. And you kind of want to give him this shot, but he beats Tybel. Great location on that shot, offside low. Here it is again. You'll get a great view of the location. Watch how difficult it is in the lower corner. He just nails the lower corner. Bieberbach, big goal right there. Washington College has been struggling to beat Kuhn, and that was a key goal.
It was also key because 2 minutes to go, Nazareth really could have held it for the final shot, but that's just not their style. They cut these players loose. McDermott coming in, takes a shot, big time save by Tybel. McDermott wastes no time, so here they could have taken one last shot, but Nazareth elects to not only give the ball back once, but they give it back again.
And Washington College calls timeout, but the 2 quick possessions.
And I don't think you'll see Washington College give this ball back. They'll probably wait for the last shot, take the 2-goal lead if they can into the halftime.
You can see Coach Hawes putting one finger up, saying, hey, 1 shot. We want to hold here for 1 shot.
Well, there's a timeout on the field right now. They lead by 2. Don't forget on ESPN, the NCAA Division I Women's Tennis, the Team Tennis Championship. 16 teams will participate in this year's Team Tennis Tournament being held at the University of Notre Dame. That's Wednesday, 2:30 Eastern Time on ESPN. Don't miss it. Great. ESPN2 exclusive coverage of championship lacrosse. This is a rematch of last year's championship game, and right now Washington College, who lost last year and the year before to Nazareth, leads by 2. The day couldn't be more perfect. If you don't want to watch this quarter, you can put on the number 15 sunblock and go for it. It is perfect out here. So Nazareth had a chance really to take the last shot at 2 minutes left in the quarter, Quint, if you wanted to hold it that long. They are an exciting team. They pushed the ball. They lost it once. Washington scored. They had it again. Quick shot by McDermott. They give it back to Washington College.
That's their style. That's the way they play. They like to run up and down. They like to make plays. They'll make mistakes occasionally. Remember, these seniors, 55-6 in their 4-year careers. They know how to win.
Brian King gives the ball up. Pollock controlling up top. We've seen a lot of this.
1 minute remaining.
Drawing the short stick defense. Big mismatch there. Pollock, a real tough guy to handle at 6'1". And defending him is Torelli. Nice matchup here, Quinn, if you want to go ahead and burn up another 30 seconds. And they might just do that.
They might, yeah. We got 43 left. They'll take it around until about 15.
If he can stand it. Haas is saying, go ahead, another lap, Pollock. It's a lot of running. Pollock now calls the play. We'll see some cutting out front. Pushes into the cutter. Oh, left-handed shot of Lopayton. They couldn't pull it down, though. Ball loose. Lopayton was the target for the left-handed cut. Timeout by Nazareth. They didn't even have the ball. How can they call timeout?
I'm not convinced they had it either, but Scotty Nelson was right there. You got the chief box official who's right next to the coaches, and the coach can easily call timeout. Take a look at it. They need possession in their stick to call timeout. Right now the ball's on the ground. There's no possession.
No possession at all. I don't know how they got the timeout.
Unless prior to that replay, the timeout was called.
They really waited a long time to blow the whistle, but nevertheless, there is a timeout charged to Nazareth. John Halls.
Look for the isolation up top. Civalier, McDermott, or Sereno. Those will be the 3 guys who'll probably handle from up top. They'll try to draw the double team and then move it down the side and inside to the big man, Goodburlett or Foley.
Scott Nelson, 13th season. Look at that record, 152, 35 losses.
81% he wins. Incredible. 10 NCAA appearances. Built this program from scratch.
He is responsible, and it's an exciting program. We talk about the fact they give the ball back, but I tell you what, players love that. It's a little bit like Syracuse in that, hey, this is your day. You're a skilled player. Let's not waste much time thinking about it. Go to the goal if you want to. The green light. And certainly we'll have the green light here for Sereno. Pushes it behind the goal. Civalier. Match up there against Oates. Civalier getting ragged by Oates. They try to get it out front, and the long stick of Washington College making it very tough with Stower. Stower just got a stick on it, goes out of bounds, and that'll be the end of the first half. It'll end with a score of 6-4. Washington College scored the last goal of this second quarter to maintain or build a 2-goal lead. We'll be back with our halftime in just a moment.
The Golden Flyers. Right now, that advantage going for Washington College.
And Quint, they got the first 5, which really gave him a good start. Gave Lopayton a lot of handles, and he ended up getting 3 looks at the goal, 3 goals. They're
on pace to put 26 shots towards the Nazareth goal. That's a lot of shots. They've got to work on their location, though. Maybe not shoot so many shots, but work on their quality. They need better shots, not more.
McCarthy working the ball behind against the tough defense of long pole Trombley. Taking their time as they have all day long. Groffman takes the ball behind, and Quintus seems to be their operational mantra today. They take a little air out of it. They take their time, set it up, drive one-on-one, and look for the off-ball opportunity.
They do. They're patient. They look in front to Fuller, number 37, and Lopayton, number 25, the lefty. Those are the dangerous guys in front. It'll start on the wings or behind the cage, but it's usually finished from out in front.
Torelli playing defense right now on Groffman. Working from behind and trying to get the defense turned around and make it opportune. Slice back for an easy shot. Pollock working on McDermott. He's been one of the guys that really tried to tire McDermott out. Interesting matchup. And close for the shot. That was the shot they wanted. McCarthy came flying in. They finally got the break. The feed came from Grothman, and he couldn't find the target.
That's the kind of ball movement that will be effective. They've got it now. As Nazareth started this game, they weren't sliding defensively. Now they're moving, and they're double-teaming quickly. It's going to take 2 or 3 passes. That was a great ball movement. McCarthy, though, kind of ran himself out of angle and then missed the net. When you're playing against a great goalie like Jake Kuhn, though, you tend to over-fake and shoot for the pipes in the corners, and that's what a great goalie can do. He makes you shoot so fine, and you tend to miss the cage more.
Washington College has possessed the ball for 2 minutes to start the second half. They scored the last goal of the first half. And making it tough. Oh, look at the shot in close. A beautiful save by Jake Kuhn. He stood right against the pipe, gave little or no angle to the shoreman on that drive, and they get the ball back. So 2 minutes with possession, and Kuhn turns them away.
Watch Mike Wilson. The senior comes in. Not much angle there. Kuhn just holding his ground. Pops up on his toes. He's got perfect size for a goalie. He's about 6 foot, 6'1". Really not much net to shoot at for Wilson. There's just a slight space in between the goalie's helmet and the pipe. About 3 inches wide.
I thought you would say the right size for goalie. The perfect size would be about 5'8".
6 foot would be the perfect size. 6 by 6.
How tall is Chris? 6 foot. Now, here we go. Back to the action here in Nazareth, driving in. Greg DeVoe. Big shot far side. Nazareth puts in their first goal of the second half. Eric Goodberlet. Goodberlet puts that ball in. Second goal of the game, and Quint, they take no time at all. It's typical Nazareth possession. They hurry and go to the goal.
Here it is again. They spread the defense. 2 players slide, leaving the backside wide open. Nice ball movement by Nazareth. Again, DeVoe, second assist to Goodberlet. Great ball movement, and they spread the defense. Washington College got to do a better job keeping things condensed, keeping the ball on the perimeter. Nice offense, though. And as you said, Washington College, they work the ball around for 3 minutes. Nazareth, they bring it down, they attack right away. It has been effective, though. They have outscored Washington College 4-2 over the last quarter and a half.
So they matched the goal within about 30 seconds. Took Washington College 2 minutes to get theirs, but that's their patient offense. Took Nazareth 30 seconds, and technical penalty gives the ball to Tommaso.
Tommaso's got some kind of knee situation, maybe a cramp, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a cramp. Is that weird? He's obviously in pain. He just fell down. Very bizarre. Quint, field's in perfect shape. There's no divot involved. There's no change of level of the field. He had a very small change of direction when he threw the ball back, like he stopped on his foot.
The face-off man, Tommaso, who's done just such a great job today, controlling the face-offs, really allowing Washington College to get into their offense. He's been dominant today. When he planted...
It was a funny plant, like
yeah,
a
funny
offset.
plant. Here it is. Watch his right leg.
The left knee went out. The left knee went out. Left knee was a little wide.
The left, yeah. Right there on the plant.
There, he looks down, and that was it.
He knew it right away. Just kicked out to the side. Yeah, just kicked out to the side. Slight twist. He's being carried off right now.
Here's a kid who has really done everything his coach asked of him today. He has been so tough in the face-offs and getting possession. Tommaso comes off the field.
Junior from Georgetown Prep, over 100 ground balls this season. 9 goals, 2 assists. There you see his scoring, but he really, his importance to this team is controlling the face-offs and allowing them to control the offense. We will see a lot more of J.D. Radebaugh, the 6'4", 230-pound face-off man from Boys Latin, who has not played much this year, and he's got his ability to run up and down the field has got to be questioned. Such a big player. Coach Hawes now is going to have to go to his bench, see if he can find someone to fill in for Tommaso.
He used Radebaugh at least once in the first half, and Radebaugh was not effective getting the ball, not like anything like Tommaso. So that'll be a story that we'll build on here in the second half. Injuries hurting Washington College. They have all year, and they're bitten again by the injury bug. Dorst now with possession, defended by Serino. Working for the left-handed shot. Dorst goes behind the goal, all the way off to the far side for the right hand. Good job of Washington College. Mike Wilson working the points behind.
That was a case which, against an average goalie, I think Dorst probably would have taken that shot. But from such a weak angle, Kuhn's going to make the save. He made a nice decision to swing the ball behind to X, and then maybe attack on the backside. Washington College got to do a better job moving off the ball. They're standing still. They've got to move in front, a lot of cuts and picks.
Low Payton, the big gun in the first half. They've had a lot of active slides coming. They can't quite make the second pass, though, Quentin, to get the open man. They make the first pass not effective with the second. Credit the defense of Nazareth. Wilson being gobbled up. Watch behind, stick check coming. Low Payton gets it just in time. Nazareth being very active defensively. Beautiful stick check by the Golden Flyers. They put that one on the floor. Man, was that nice by Sovey. He's got a little bit of room. He'll take the right-handed shot, but checked by the trailing player, Tyler Gilbert. Gilbert never gave up. Here we go on the other end. Watch out. It'll start with Wretched. 2 passes down for the right-handed shot, and he's got rope. That one's going to be a 9-7 score, a 2-goal lead for Washington College, and a very patient, fast break.
John Fuller will get the goal, right-handed, little front swing on the end. Nazareth did a good job defending this play. But you watch Fuller now. Watch the tail end of this play. Right here, he catches it, and as the defense slides over, it's so important that you step up field. He was actually kind of tripped. And look at the location. Here it is again. Fuller will get the goal. The key is, as the player comes at you, you want to step around him. He's using too much momentum, and Kuhn actually got a piece of that, but Fuller finds the back of the net.
Ensuing face-off, Nazareth takes no time at all to come down and put in their answering goal. 7-6 the score, and the face-off was one story right there. Again, Tommaso out, and Radeball not as effective. Radeball loses the face-off, and in the absence of Tommaso, the Golden Flyers score. Fast break.
This is what they do best. Foley now with the hat trick. 2 dive goals early, scores in transition. If you want to run and gun with Nazareth, hey, fine, they'll do it all day. They can sting you in transition. Goal number 39 on the season, and the face-off being the key right there.
Bieberbach in now. J.D. Radeball took that one. He's 0 for 2, so Bieberbach comes in, and here comes Nazareth. Second face-off in a row, and another in-your-face shot. Beautiful job for them. Goodbrelay takes this shot, and twice in a row they've beaten Tybalt on a fast break. So since the injury to Tommaso, Washington College falling apart by not getting the key possessions.
Tommaso, who got injured, was winning all the faceoffs. Here it is again. Watch Nadelin will kick the ball right there. Kicks it to himself. Does a great job scooping it, and they're off to the races. It's a 4-on-3 break. Storer cannot catch it, and Goodbrelay finishes. Look for Washington College now. Call a timeout here soon. They cannot let the momentum of this Nazareth team affect them.
Well, they've got another guy. They got Storer in there, a long stick. This is the 3rd guy in 3 faceoffs they're trying on the faceoff. They're putting Storer in, number 1, a long stick player, so that they don't get the fast break. They almost conceded it, Quint. They just don't want to give up the goal. They'll give the possession, stop the fast break.
The reason Nazareth has the ball, Bieberbach stepped over the line early on the near side. That's actually not that bad. They give up the possession, but not the fast break.
It could have been planned. Nazareth.
We're going to have some kind of off-ball pushing violation. The Washington College defenseman, they wanted a call against Nazareth for being in the crease. Well, the question is how he got in the crease, and someone from Washington College pushed him in the crease. And Coach Hawes right now, this game's slipping away here in the 3rd quarter. He's been outscored 3-1. Nazareth with the transition game off the face-offs, and now an extra man opportunity. They have not led in this game.
Tell you, if you wondered how important Greg Tommaso was, I think that's underlined a little bit now. As soon as he left the game, 2-goal run, little spurt by Nazareth. Game tied at 7. And a ripping left-handed shot gives Nazareth the first lead of the game.
The extra man goal. And there's Tybalt. A little disappointed. Serino, the lefty, he can let it rip. Nazareth, their fans going crazy. Here it is again. They get the ball behind Foley, near side, and watch Serino, the left-hander, just zings it top shelf from about 12 yards.
Tell you, that was way out. He almost would give him that shot.
Well, yeah, but you cannot foul this team. I mean, they are about 45% on the season. You cannot foul Nazareth.
J.D. Radeball back in to take the faceoff. They're struggling to find a hero in the faceoff circle in the absence of Tommaso. And Radeball did a nice job there of tying up the faceoff guy for Nazareth.
That's what they're going to have to do, Leaf. That's a great point. They've got to just tie up Nadelin and then hope their wing players can come in and get some ground balls.
J.D. Radeball's big enough to do just that. Easy save for Kuhn on the slashing move by McCarthy. McCarthy riding hard, get the ball back, fighting for it. Ball checked out of his stick. Washington College stepping up the activity level. And Nazareth is dictating it since the start of the second half. They're really playing tough.
All these teams going at it. Look at McCarthy and Fuller throwing the body.
Trying to buy one right there was Mike Wilson. Both teams really stepping it up. It's money time. Nazareth gets their first lead. Take a look at the physical contact.
No love lost between these two teams. Round 3 today. First 2 rounds, Nazareth victorious, 96 and 97. Some nasty playing in there.
I tell you, the refs couldn't
See
figure it
Pollock
out.
swinging a stick right there. Wow.
They were glad to get a dead ball for a moment. Ball goes back to the shoreman. They'll take it behind and get Pollock to really slow things down a little bit. As soon as Tommaso went out with a leg injury, they just lost it twice. Watch the shot in close. A bounce shot that went by the great goalie Kuhn, and looked like Grothman just came in and really had no defensive pressure in front of him. Got a lot of space out there to take that shot, and he bounced it well in front of Kuhn.
Grothman, 17th goal of the season. The junior's got great size. See right here, he uses his size. The Nazareth defender gets his legs tripped up. Kuhn didn't really react well to it. Take a look at it again. Right here, you see the feet tangle. There's a little space. He steps up and he lets it rip.
No bounce at all.
Beautiful shot into the upper corner. Dropped his stick and lifted.
I misread that totally. I thought he bounced it out in front with that low underhand shot, but he went right to the corner, and velocity did its number there. 8-8 the score, with about 8:22 left, as you can see.
Grothman's got great size. He's going to have to step up. Nazareth has done a really terrific job against the small, little, quick attackmen from Washington College. Guys like McCarthy and Wilson. I think Grothman's going to have to use his size to barrel in and shoot.
Justin McCarthy brings the ball in now as Washington College does another good job of getting possession. Grothman, nice size advantage over Torelli. Torelli, very tenacious, tough defender. You give Grothman a lot of real estate out there. Hope he can create some havoc, and then they bounce out to help. Pollock comes out to get the ball, but he was covered by Burchett, so Burchett keeps the ball. Oh, look at the check there. Long stick came out and switched. Peluso came out and switched with the short stick guy, and the long stick checked it out of bounds.
Nice job by Carmine Peluso Sr. Take a look at him right there. Anytime your player turns his back, that's the ideal time to double team. He snuck up on Grothman and got his long stick there, and the ball went flying out of bounds.
Nazareth with possession, score tied. And here they go, Sereno. Love the left-handed shot. This is the target by about a foot.
Not afraid to shoot.
This is Tommaso on the sideline. Kid that really meant a lot to this team. He had been controlling the face-offs and giving them time on the offensive end. Kind of a freak accident just took him and his knee out of the game. Nazareth, I don't think they have too many areas on this field that they categorize as bad shot locations. They just take them from anywhere. Good rotation in front. There's a right-handed shot in the goal. Beautifully done. DeVoe. Boy, they had a little bit of a spaghetti kind of offense going. And DeVoe got a little bit clear up front. Takes the right-hander for a 9-8 lead.
They had the ball movement. I can't tell what kind of formation they were in, but the ball was really just zipping around. And DeVoe in traffic right here. A little jump shot from about 10 yards, beating Tybal 9-8. And another injury for Washington College. Number 38 on defense. That's McGilvray, one of their really key defenders. He's out. He's the guy been covering Foley. He's got a knee brace on, so it looks to be some kind of knee injury. He's limping and jumping up and down the sideline.
Injuries taking their toll, as you see back on the face-off circle is J.D. Radeball. 6'4" of him.
Loose ball push against Washington College. There's Radeball on the sideline. 6'4", 230. Just a house.
Washington College the last time down in that last Nazareth goal. Watch out, Nazareth with a defensive check from behind. They might have been in the zone, Quint, last time, and they were working this near side. Now they think they're back to the man-to-man. Have to keep an eye on them switching, because that is a story. John Haas has to figure out the best way to defend Nazareth. push from behind. Loose ball will go to Washington, and
Chris
coming over to pick it up.
McClone having problems with that ball. Goodberlet just absolutely ran him over from behind.
Oates takes it, gives it back to Tybal. They're down by 1. Nazareth with their second lead of the game. They led 8-7, or yes, and then 9-8. Working the ball behind is Dorst. Dorst making Sereno really spend a few moments on defense. The field looking a little bit slick as they drive in. They have a right-handed shot, and it looks like they'll get a goal off the foot of the goalie Kuhn. Beautiful job by Tyler Gilbert. He got a little bit of a seam, Q. Not the best shot, but boy, he put some heat on it, and it comes off the feet of Kuhn, makes it a 9-9 game.
That seems to be the place that you want to shoot. Low on Kuhn, the low corners. Gilbert loses the ball, but Nazareth overplays the loose ball, and here he is slicing down the middle of the field. Looked like Kuhn got a piece of that. Certainly the softest goal he's given up today. Here's another look. Tyler Gilbert, good-looking freshman, 12 goals on the season. He has made an impact. Talking to the coaches, this is a kid who's gotten better and better as the season has progressed, as has this entire Washington College team. They struggled this year. They were not seeded. They would not have been in this tournament had it not been expanded to 12 teams. And they've had to go on the road and win 3 road playoff games, and they have done that to get here.
Tied at 9, J.D. Radeball brings the ball down for his first offensive set. Maybe his second. He hasn't spent too much time on the field after the face-offs. Conditioning a problem after he rehabilitated his leg. Oh, a big move defensively against Lopayton. Lopayton had the ball, and here they go shooting out of the defensive zone. Sovey couldn't pick it up.
Going to be a play on interference with the goalie. When the Kuhn came up with that ball, he was interfered with. Free clear for Nazareth. They want the quick whistle here. Washington College on a substitution.
Nazareth coming down with a little bit of pressure from the Shoremen. Defensively now you see Brian Oates in front of McDermott. McDermott looking to get some shot space. Takes the left-hander, goes well wide of the target. Backed up behind the goal by Dennis Foley. Dennis Foley working on the defensive checks of Kent. Michael Kent working him. He rolls right inside, really blindly fed Quint, a player, and there was nobody there. But they get the ball back.
Interference call against Washington College. Really 20 yards away from the ball. You gotta hate that call. When you're in goal and you make the turnover, you get the ball on the ground, and to have one of your defensemen interfere when it's not even part of the play, that hurts.
Michael Kent playing some tough defense, trying to keep the offensive juggernaut of Dennis Foley out of the crease area. They get that call.
Nice job by Kent riding Foley into the crease. Remember, Kent initially in this game not assigned to Foley, the top defenseman for Nazareth. McGillivray, number 38, but he's on the bench right now with some kind of knee problem.
Sherman looking to push it up. Wilson on this side's wide open, falling down. They get it to him. Trip will be the call. Wilson was open the whole time, and Pollock didn't see him to the last minute.
And Jake Kuhn was caught out of the net. Nazareth in a 10-man ride where the goalie comes out of the goal to cover one of the attackmen. Washington College got the ball up the field real quick. Watch the foul right there. You'll see the trip on Jamie Pollock. And you can see Kuhn, by that time, had just gotten back into the cage.
It'll be an extra man play for Washington College, 6-on-5. And you got a lot of big-time shooters coming out for this set. Fuller for the right hand, number 37 over there. Near side here is Justin McCarthy. Up top, Grothman. Guy you want to watch, though, is right down there, Matt Swift. 6'4" from Boys Latin. Swift, the junior, leg heavily bandaged. Right there in the middle, Swift. Great target to have on the crease, and that's where they have him. McCarthy looks into the crease, and that one comes right back off the pipe. Big-time shot by Fuller. Penalty called now on that loose ball. A lot of guys coming there and hitting more Washington College guys around to get the call the penalty on. Just got a little shot to the head they're going to call against the Shoremen.
Washington College will be really upset with this. That's the foul. The foul will be called against John Fuller for a hit that was up in the head area. Fuller, for an attackman, has a lot of fouls this year. He's got about 15 penalties. But the reason these fans are upset is because the player was bending down. Really nothing Fuller could do. If you're going to initiate contact there, you're obviously going to hit the player high. And prior to that, the reason the ball was on the ground is a lot of the fans felt that the Nazareth player tripped Pollock initially. So right now we are on an extra man for Nazareth.
Big shot. Tybal has a huge save. Things really swinging back and forth. Each team getting a little bit of an idea for momentum, but then taken away by the other team. Washington College brings it down with Gibbs. Fresh legs out there that we haven't seen most of the game. Michael Wilson.
Watch the double team. Nazareth, they've got an extra man. They will double team, put a lot of pressure on you right here.
Wilson doing a good job against Prost, number 5. Watch out. McDermott. Now they'll get a free shot and a penalty against Nazareth. Running off the field is Gibbs, trying to get another offensive threat on. Wilson behind, working against McDermott. He already has a penalty to his leg. Back door, easy, relocate. How about that from Lopayton? He just worked the backside as Wilson came left. Lopayton drifted to the far side and kept it in his right hand. It's kind of tough to handle when you're going away with the right hand with that. He did a nice job.
You think they've done this before. You can see Wilson dodging up left-handed, looks away, and Lopayton just so smart in front, sneaks as the defense stares at Wilson. See, they'll stare at him because someone's got to slide. Right there, you see 2 players stare at the ball. He sneaks in behind him. That is almost a carbon copy of his first goal of the game. Lopayton now has 4 goals today. He has shown up in the playoffs big time. He's got 13 goals now in the playoffs.
J.D. Radewall back out there for Washington College, going against the consistent Chris Nadelin, who has been out there more often than not for Nazareth. Radewall laying some lumber on somebody, and his wing help comes up with it. Stower. Throw it away right away. And you have to be patient because Nazareth will pressure you everywhere.
Stower made a great job to scoop the ball, and then a sloppy pass.
Number 5, check cross of Nazareth.
Radewall looking, actually playing on the offensive end. That face-off. It's not like Radewall. Nazareth with the ball, down by 1 now. Washington College with a 10-9 lead. Silverlear working against the tough defense of Kent. And Michael Kent makes him throw it far side. Sereno really creating some room for himself. Stower working on it. Stower gets the ball down on the carpet. Can he pick it up? Nazareth does a great job, Quint, of getting the loose ball. They really double.
A lot of white jerseys over there. There are 4 white jerseys on that loose ball and only 1 dark one. Beaverback was just swarmed by the Golden Flyers.
Round up back shot. We thought that was a good one, but Goodrelay just did not find target. Put a lot of pressure on Andy Tybal.
Nice clear by Washington College right there. Nazareth came with a little pressure, but the long sticks, McGilvray, McClone, and Kent handling the ball out of the zone very well.
1 goal lead, 1 minute left in the 3rd quarter. Creating some space, making Sereno play a little defense way down in the corner. They like to work from behind, make Nazareth, if they do get that loose ball, travel as far as they have to get the offense going again.
1 minute remaining, 3rd quarter.
Jamie Pollock calling a play from behind. He's got McDermott right in front of him. Ryan McDermott not backing down from anybody. There's the cutting cutting Andy Lopayton. And out front, they get their 11th goal of the game. Grothman. Boy, they did a nice job of threatening the goalie with 2 or 3
That's
options.
right. They got the ball inside to Lopayton, but then he kicked it back behind. And Wilson just moving the ball so well. And Grothman high to low. That seems to be the shot that's going to go on Kuhn. You raise your stick really high and drop it low. Here's the tail end of that. Watch the location. 5-hole between the legs. Here it is again. Grothman's 2nd goal of the game. A big goal here with less than a minute to go in the 3rd quarter, giving Washington College a 2-goal lead. Super ball movement. unselfish attack.
Nazareth picks up the ball. Tromley working the wing. Gives it up front to the face-off guy, and that's Naylor. And this one well wide. Will go back to Washington College.
Initially, when Tommaso, the Washington College face-off man, went down, they struggled, and they gave up 3 goals that really can be directly attributed to face-offs. They seem to have control of the face-offs now. It doesn't seem to be a real hindrance. J.D. Radeball and Storr.
They figured it out. They ran 4 guys through there, and they finally figured out how they're going to do it. Let's take a look at the scoring summary at this point in the game.
Lopayton and Pollock, big days for Washington College. DeVoe, 2 and 3, and Foley, 3 and 2, and the freshman, Goodroulette, with 3 goals. This game in the second quarter, not much scoring. In the third quarter here, we've had a bunch of goals. 5 for Nazareth and 5 for Washington College. 10 goals in the third quarter.
15 seconds left, not a whole lot of time, but enough time to get a shot if they are quick about it.
Not a bad idea to put some of these big players, guys like Swift and J.D. Radeball, in front of the goal for a couple outside screen shots here if there's not much time left. Nazareth's going to make it difficult for Washington College to clear the ball. They'll be forced to run some time off the clock. Be aware of the long shot. They just might heave the ball towards the cage.
Van Marchant goes to Tybal. And Tybal is going to be a little bit careful about it as he goes upfield to Brian King. King's going to have room for a shot. 5 seconds left. He better hurry. Pushes it in. Oh, tried to get Wilson with one. So the shot was up top. King didn't want it. Gave it to Wilson. And that's how the quarter ends. 2-goal lead for Washington College. Can they avenge the 2 sudden death losses over the last 2 years? Well,
heard from him yet today. He's one of the key scorers for Nazareth. He's got to be a factor in the fourth quarter.
Rocket shot by Serino goes wide, and they'll maintain possession with Dennis Foley backing it up. There's McDermott. He's played a lot of defense, and that was the plan of John Haas. He made him play a lot of defense early in this game.
Second-team All-American, came into this game with 28 goals in the season. He's been shut out so far.
Shot there just gobbled up by Tybal. He has been playing tough, just like his counterpart, Kuhn. These are 2 goalies, Quint, that you thought could play Division I.
I certainly do think not a great year for Division I goalies. These 2 players, I think, have all the skills to play at the Division I level.
Ball on the field a lot, and this is what Nazareth does so beautifully. Nazareth makes you, really pressures you to keep possession. They're not going to give you any comfortable moments to hold the ball. They want the ball on the green surface here at Rutgers, and then they want to push it up for transition offense. Well, Payton comes in, no angle at all, goes wide. Did a nice job of getting the shot off against a very tough defense.
Oh, he was covered well, too. He made a great catch. It's good defense by Peluso inside. Had to stick right in the numbers. Didn't have much angle. But Pollock really will jam that ball inside the Lopez.
Working from behind again, Pollock. Now he dishes back as they really start to control. Grothman working against McDermott again. Tough job for McDermott because Grothman is a pretty tough guy to cover. He's 6'2", 195. Big size advantage for Grothman, but McDermott is one tough customer.
Nazareth, no stranger to coming from behind. Last week in the semifinals, they were down to Ohio Wesleyan 9-6, and they rattled off 4 straight fourth quarter goals. They believe that conditioning in that game was the difference.
Big shot with no angle, and look at that, another goal. Goal number 12. This one gets rung up by Justin McCarthy. Almost the same shot moments ago taken by Lopayton. This one finds rope.
McCarthy comes off a double screen, and Pollock will throw the ball inside. Pollock with a number of assists today. Watch the feed. Watch the double little pick action right there. McCarthy, top of the screen, little burst of speed. So tough to cover inside because of his quickness and his size. Here it is again. Pollock with his head up finds McCarthy, and the placement is perfect. Pollock gives him a little, McCarthy gives him a little point that, hey, that's your goal. But McCarthy using that interference in front, getting himself open, a crucial goal, puts the Shoremen up by 3.
Bieberbach in for Washington College as they try to figure out how to replace Greg Tommaso. Nazareth using Nadelin a lot in that position. Push call. Gives the ball to Nazareth. They can't wait to reset. They want that ball moving. Rolling inside. Double team, triple team, but coming out alive is Cavalier. 3 goals now separate Washington College and Nazareth. A lot of time left. Cavalier comes in, tries to just go over top of the sliding defenseman. Could be a crease violation. Michael Kent came sliding across there. Cavalier did a nice job of just taking the stick over top of a pretty big defenseman.
Yeah, that way he almost folded his stick across his body to increase his angle. There's no way, as a right-hander there, you can afford to shoot sidearm. There's really not much cage to shoot at.
This is Michael Kent, sophomore, from Alexandria, Virginia, throwing the ball beyond teammate King.
Nazareth pressing there in their 10-man ride where they'll shift up the field and put a lot of pressure. They'll try to put a man on everybody. And Jake Kuhn, their athletic goalie, comes out and plays an attackman. Look for them now. They're down by 3. They've got to start taking some defensive chances and picking the tempo of this game up. They will do that quite a bit.
Okay, Nazareth can score 3 goals pretty quickly, so that doesn't look like a huge mountain for them to climb. Close range. Tybal goes down, makes the big save, and almost goes beyond him. The defenseman got it back to him after he made the save. McGilvray went right back to him. He wasn't quite set to catch it. Luckily, it was wide of the net. 2
great saves by Tybal. One a kick save and the other from a teammate. Dangerous. That is scary. You never want to shovel the ball back to your goalie that way.
Storr gets it behind, and here's a big target. Swift is playing a lot more minutes here late in the game.
He's their 4th attackman. Again, limited mobility because of a knee injury, but great stick skills. If they get the ball to him, he can shoot it.
Trying to burn some time. Dorst behind. You know that Nazareth will be working hard to get the ball back. Dorst looks for help. Shut off. Swift has a little bit of room, but gives it to the near teammate, Tyler Gilbert. Gilbert with his matchup against Al Torelli.
Gilbert beat Torelli earlier when Torelli lost his feet. It's a size mismatch. Torelli about 5'8", Gilbert, big kid, 6'2". See if he can use his strength.
Well, the Shoremen doing a good job of taking up some time on the clock, and that's what you've got to do, Quinn, right? If you can divide this last 10 minutes into like 3-4-minute sections there isn't even that much time there.
They will
hold the ball.
They'll probably need 12, 13, probably about 13 or 14 goals to win this. So they can't totally stop their offense. They've got to keep attacking.
Swift takes a shot with not a great angle there. Pretty easy save for Kuhn. He is a top goalie, so you've got to put a little better location on the ball than that. 3-goal lead. Nazareth, 2 guys coming out of the box, and Washington College just bounced on that ball. Beaverback did a nice job. Good job of knocking the ball out of the transition. They both came out of the box. And look at that defensive check. Nazareth going wild. Right cross by Jeff Cross.
Cross, unbelievable.
He came on the right cross.
Over-the-head check. Beaverbeck made a great play, but Cross countered with the over-the-head check.
And he took his hand off the stick and had a right cross. It was kind of wild. Just swinging like a wild man. Stepping up the intensity, Torelli takes it down the offensive end. DeVoe back to his teammate, Cavalier. 3 goals separate him, under 9. Lee Felsbo, Quinn Kesnick, ESPN2's coverage of championship lacrosse. This is Division III. Big time checks. And it's a long stretch here for Nazareth not scoring. They haven't scored since the 7-minute mark here. That's 8 and 5, 13 minutes.
13 minutes and 4 straight by Washington College. And as we get further along, we're almost halfway through this 4th quarter. Washington College will pull it out, try to eat up a minute or 2 on every possession.
Beautiful sight here at Rutgers. Next year and the year after, these championships go back to the University of Maryland. I think they come back in the new millennium back to this site. Crossing player, and that one finds rope. That is number 14, Justin McCarthy. Nice crossing feed. A 5-0 run by the Shoremen.
McCarthy from Pollock. They've scored 2. That combination has accounted for the last 2 goals. Again, another little look in front. They'll give each other a little eye contact. and McCarthy pulls the string on his defender and cuts quickly across the cage. You can see McCarthy still has his 100% speed here in the fourth quarter. Sometimes players will tire out. That time McCarthy, little quick stick. Kuhn got a piece of that. It hit his shoulder and then hit the top post and then dropped in. But McCarthy, 2 big fourth quarter goals, both assisted by Pollock. And the quickness of McCarthy has really been a factor in front.
Now here's J.D. Radeball. Technical a move on the faceoff, gave them possession. He immediately gives up to the wing. Good idea. Goes off the field, and they'll try to take off more precious time.
And Nazareth will now be very aggressive on the ball. They're going to be throwing the book at you. They'll throw all their checks. They'll extend their defense to the adjacent men, and they'll look to really take some chances defensively to try to generate the turnover. They're down by 4 now with 7.5 to go.
This is Bourget trying to play aggressively. Out front, big shot and easy save by Kuhn. Nice ball movement, gets the ball out front, and Wilson take a left-handed shot, ball loose again. Nazareth coming up cleanly. Over the head check and a foul called on John Fuller. Fuller came with the over the head hatchet move.
And we had a timeout by Nazareth. Let's see if the timeout was called before the foul. There's the flag. There's a foul on Fuller. That's Scotty Nelson, the Nazareth coach, who called timeout because he felt his player was in danger of losing the ball. And then Fuller came over and made the check. So we'll see if this will be a foul or not.
Well, the short timeout here. Don't forget on ESPN tonight, 7:30 Eastern Time. The Sabres take on the Washington Capitals. We're talking about Eastern Conference Finals here. Buffalo leads 1-0 in the best of 7. Hasek 2-0 shutout. That was game 1. Tonight they go to game 2 on ESPN. Join us for our Stanley Cup playoff action, Eastern Conference Finals.
John Hawes and his Shorman catch a break right there. The referees wave the flag off because Scott Nelson and Nazareth has called timeout prior to Fuller's foul. So there is no penalty. Look at the Golden Flyers, scoreless for nearly 15 minutes, and this is a high-powered offense. They average about 13 goals per game. They've got to get it going. One of the keys to this game, Tommaso, the face-off man for Washington College, did such a super job for 2.5 quarters, injured his knee early stages of the third quarter. And that's when Nazareth got back in this ballgame and actually took a 9-8 lead. Lately, though, the Shoremen have really figured out what's going on in the face-offs, and it's been about 50-50 in the past 5 or 6 face-offs.
Tommaso was so strong in that opening. When you look at the quarters, they really got that lead, 5-2 lead in the first quarter. That's the lead they've maintained. Now they've grown that to a 13-9. But Tommaso so important in those early possessions. John Haas showing himself as a complete coach, making the adjustments he needs to make. Nazareth, a very exciting team. Plenty of time left for this team to come back and score goals. They can do it quickly. They can do it in big bunches. Foley. Bounce shot wide of Tybalt. He got a hunk of it. And here's some pressure on him. He's way out of the goal right now. Look at the pressure by Nazareth to get the ball back.
Great job.
Yeah, everybody goes to the ball. DeVoe goes over there in the first outlet pass. DeVoe checks it out of bounds.
They are hustlers. This attack understands if they can generate turnovers in the defensive end when the other team's clearing, they're going to get some transition. They'll get more opportunities. Right there, a great example. They get to the end line, pressure Tybalt, and then they pressure. DeVoe pressures McGlone. The ball's on the ground. This is a second chance opportunity.
Nazareth now working into the middle of the field. Big checks on top of Dennis Foley. Foley's one that'll be marked very closely. A lot of attention given to him. Right-handed shot into the chest of Tybalt. Silvalier wanted to burn him there. Couldn't do it. Here comes Bierbach. Bierbach comes in, looks for feeds. No options there. Look at Nazareth giving some checks.
And Coach Hawes, sensing Bieberback was having problems, 6 minutes to go, wants to get his offensive players on, and he calls a timeout.
Well, he's got that lead. He wants to reset him. Quint, he's had injuries in this game, particularly to Greg Tommaso. That really could have hurt him.
They controlled the early stages of this game, and then they were trailing 9-8. Since then, Washington College has scored 7 straight goals. They were losing 9-8. It's been 7 in a row, late stages of the third quarter, and they have dominated the first 12 minutes here in the fourth quarter.
All right, withholding the ball, called on Washington College's Grothman. It'll go to Nazareth, but boy, they have an uphill climb here. Only 3:44 left. It's almost mathematically impossible, even for this great scoring machine. This is a team that likes to go at the goal, but I don't think enough time left to do it. Cavalier. Getting double.
The difference today, I think, guys like Cavalier, Sereno, and McDermott really didn't play their A games today. And credit the Washington College defense.
They had a plan. No question they had a plan. They had McDermott playing more defense than he was playing offense.
They talked about that first midfield and their domination this season, but today they were held in check.
And speaking of checks, that was the best. Storr comes behind and puts it back on the green. Here comes McCarthy. He's going to take the left-handed shot. Icing on the cake for McCarthy. 16-9. Start the celebration. Shoremen, their first championship ever. You can bet it's going to happen now. And what a great moment for this program.
And McCarthy, what a great play. You look at him on the bench. They're absolutely loving life. McCarthy, 3 goals in the 4th quarter. Perfect placement on that shot.
Haas believes it now, and the crowd here to follow this Division III program. Really trying to get that. You talk about monkeys on your back. 2 straight years, sudden death losses. Maybe an overachiever. John Hall's bringing these teams in, but he is at full control now.
Jeremy Storr to McCarthy. Right here, McCarthy takes an angle towards the middle of the field and then V's out right there. A little cutback, perfect placement, shooting for the pipe in that instance. That way, if it doesn't go in, it goes out of bounds, and you've got the guy backing it up. But look at the placement. McCarthy, 3 goals in the 4th quarter. The junior, only 5'7", 155 pounds. The small man, there is a spot for the small man in lacrosse. You get the skills, you get a little quickness like McCarthy at a Haverford, PA, you can get it done.
Washington College starting to uncork the celebration. What a great moment for them. Announced crowd here, 14,000 and change. What a wonderful weekend that Phil Botafogo and the folks at the NCAA have put together. The championship weekend of lacrosse, including Division I, II, and III. You are looking at the best in Division III. J.D. Radeball. He'll have his own chance to take a shot. He's taking it wide. Everybody trying to get into it. 2:47 left. The separation of these 2 teams is a little bit surprising. 16-9. And it was that run you talked about, Quint, that made it.
It's been an 8-goal run. This game looked to go Nazareth's direction. They trailed early. They went up 9-8. And it's tough to say what made the difference for Washington College. But the seniors and their veterans, Pollock and McCarthy, really have been the difference in the 4th quarter. McCarthy with those 2 goals to make it 12-9, 13-9. That really separated Washington College from Nazareth.
Nazareth driving in. McDermott trying to make an impact here late in the game. Big shot from the right side. Won't make much of a difference in the final score, but Cavalier finally gets this one past Andy Tybal.
That's their first goal since about midway through the 3rd quarter. Cavalier. Nice shot here. Watch McDermott trying to penetrate against McCarthy. Finds Cavalier on the backside all alone. Tybal caught out of position a little there. Gave up a little too much on the near side. Cavalier showing some class, really not celebrating much. Upset his 25th goal of the season. Nazareth, they will be back.
Face off again with 32, Chris Nadelin, who's been out there a lot of the time, almost exclusively on the face-offs for the Golden Flyers. Here we go, pushing in, trying to get some more on goal. Petro, ball taken away and out of the goal. Tybal way outside. He'll look way upfield, passing to Storr, who's got a defenseman in front of him. If he wants to give it up, he's taking it himself. He's got some numbers down here. Looks to get it into the crease. Follow-up shot off the pipe. Push, loose ball, goes back to the Shoremen.
Exciting offense by Washington College. Really not their forte. Transition is not where they're most comfortable. But Storr did a great job getting the ball inside. A little nifty passing there. Taken out of the Nazareth playbook.
So let's see if they take any air out of it now. Washington College looking at a minute 25, as you can tell, before they start celebrating their first championship ever.
Pause on the sideline. The clock didn't start with the whistle. He was jumping up and down. He wants the time taken off the clock. There he is.
John, calm down, buddy. It's not going to matter. You've got a 6-goal lead, John.
He's a competitor.
Jesus.
He was a winner as a player at North Carolina. They won 2 championships, 1981 and 82. And he coached at Hopkins. And now at Washington College has really revitalized this program.
Great storied past, and it's really, again, I'm kind of shocked to hear this is their first championship ever. So what a moment this will be. With just 1:12 left for them to start their celebration. It's been a hard fought one, right? 2 sudden death losses in a row. They'll all go away in about a minute, though, folks.
I'll never forget last year when Nazareth scored. The way the Washington College players just stayed exactly where they were on the field and just fell lifeless to the turf. It was a really emotional moment.
It was that same kind of aggressive play by Nazareth that got them those sudden death wins. They just never let up. They kept coming at you, coming at you, coming at you. Washington College came with a great game plan today and did everything they had to do with the team that was beat up all year and injured more in this game. Time winding down. Championship in store for Washington College. What a great year for the Shoremen. This is really something. Here they go. Time winding down. No doubt as who's winning this one. Nazareth not even challenging, accepting the fact that this year they will be second best. Not as dramatic as the last 2 years. The Gatorade parade on top of John Haas. He just got the shower. And he can believe it now. John Haas is going to take a championship. Not as dramatic as the sudden death, but every bit as important. Washington College wins their first championship in history. This school has gotten the monkey off their back. Finally, they beat Nazareth, a team that has beaten them in 2 sudden deaths this year. The Shoremen from Washington College, the 1998 Division III national champions. Was sensational in the goal. The defensive plan was magnificent. John Haas pulled all the right plugs and made all the right decisions, and Washington College wins the championship.